Lord, have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
I may have a slightly different perspective on Lent because, unlike many of the folks around here, I did not grow up as a Catholic. And so I didn't really come to an understanding of Lent until I was a teenager. I was 14 years old. And I remember there was just a lot of conversation as I was entering into that first Lent by old-time Catholics about what they were going to give up, what kind of sacrifices they were going to make. And fasting, prayer, and almsgiving became these great projects that they were going to do during the Lenten season. And what I discovered was that I did the same thing. I made a very ambitious program for myself in that first Lent. And like most Catholics, I failed miserably. 2 or 3 days into Lent, and suddenly I was not doing the things I had said I was going to do. And later I discovered, as a priest and pastor, that many people do try to do very heroic things for Lent, and then they discover they're not very good at it, and they give up. And so Lent becomes really a kind of time in which so many people find themselves frustrated, not only with themselves, but with God and with the church. As I grew older, and hopefully today, I think I have a little bit of a different perspective on Lent. I don't see it as a time of heroic sacrifice or engaging in practices that are going to recreate me. It's much more about preparing for something, and in particular, preparing for the Easter season. In the early church, where Lent has its origins, that's what the 40 days were intent upon, preparing new Catholics to come into the church on Easter Sunday. And so the things that they gave up or put away were merely the opportunities for them to focus more directly upon that preparation. They would come into the church, which they had never experienced before. They would celebrate the Eucharist, which they had never had the experience of before. And that really became the focus of what they were doing. I wonder sometimes if we should try and recapture that early spirit of Lent, not a time of sacrifice and denial, but a time of putting things away so that we can focus more sharply on the future, so that we can see the Easter that is coming, not only in terms of the year, but the Easter that is coming into each one of our lives.
Lord, have mercy.
We are sinners.
Lord, deliver